Hey guys, I wanted to make this video ever since I saw that Fez 2 was cancelled. The reaction on the internet's kind of been all over the place. I've seen people make jokes about it. I've seen, people make jokes about Phil Fish, about the game. But I've also seen, people sympathizing with him, saying the whole ordeal with people insulting him and everything was unprofessional because I guess there was some game journalist that said something about him, and so what I'm gonna say to you might surprise you, I guess, but it may not be all that different from some of the other things you've heard. But to me, this all comes down to a problem just with common decency. This may come as news to some of you, but you're going to disagree with people your entire life. If someone says or does something you disagree with, that doesn't make them less of a human being. That doesn't make them any less deserving of common decency. Now, you may say, well, he's full of himself, or I heard him say something against Japanese developers, or he said that PCs are for spreadsheets. Who cares what he said? None of that makes him less of a human being, and it doesn't give people the right to insult him or make threats against him or whatever people have said about him. And now look what's happened. People pushed him so much, he finally just began to hate the entire gaming industry. A thing he obviously loved at one point, or he wouldn't have put his life into it. And who knows what he's going to do now. I've seen some people say that he, should have had harder, thicker skin. He should have just learned to brush it off, or, just ignore all the negative comments. But put yourself in his shoes. You go and you put a lot of work into something that you really care about, that you really, that you're just completely dedicated to. You're really proud of it. And then people all over the internet send you emails and tweets and comments and messages and everything that say, hey, you're a piece of shit, or your game is shit, or you should kill yourself, or you're a pretentious jerk, or whatever. You might think you'd be able to just ignore that. But realistically, you don't know how you'd react unless you've been in that position before. And even then, it's not up to you to decide how much someone else can take. Now, I'll be honest, I'm guilty of it too. I've said bad things about him and about the game and everything. I've gone through a lot of soul searching this year, and I'm hoping at the end I'll come out as a better person. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry that I said those things. He's probably not going to see this. This is probably going to get my typical 30 views for a video. But I'm just trying really hard just to be a more decent and kind person. Now, I think everyone should try that. And you should try that with everyone. Not just people you agree with or people you get along with, but everybody. Just thinking before you say something. And I guess that's the problem with the internet. I mean, there was a time that if you didn't like someone on the other side of the country or whatever, you had to write a letter, and then you had to take it to the post office, and all that gave you plenty of time to really think about what you were saying. But now, you can go from hearing something that someone says, disagreeing with them, and then sending them a 140 character hate letter in the form of a tweet in about 15 seconds. In that time, you didn't have time to think about what you were saying or how that might affect the person that you're sending it to. Just think the next time before you post a comment or before you write a tweet or whatever. I mean, it might be hard to do because you're just not used to it. You think something, you have a keyboard in front of you, you have a little white box that says, you know, write something or what are you up to or leave a comment, but just try to think about it before you say something because you never know how it might affect people. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe or comment or whatever because this is definitely not the norm for videos on this channel. I just felt like sharing my viewpoint on things, I guess. But, thanks for listening.